Then check this out.
One thing that I wanted to share or speak to this afternoon is basically what we have seen this past couple of weeks. So I just want to take a step back a moment.
Okay.
And really call out the shameful, hateful, and dangerous attacks that we have been seeing on the LGBTQI community, as we've seen this week, as I said, and also last week.
That's kind of creepy, ain't it?
Look, it started with a speaker at a conservative conference calling for the eradication of transgender people, language that not a single national Republican leader has condemned. In Iowa and Tennessee, Republicans are now calling for legislation to attack gay marriage and protections for same-sex couples. In Florida, just Florida alone, Republicans introduced 20 bills
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
on a single day to roll back the rights of LGBTQ community. One of those bills would give the state the right to remove kids from their parents just because that kid is transgender. And just think about that. Just think about a kid who's sitting at home in this community, who's listening and hearing elected officials talking about how they want to take away their rights, or how they want to even threaten their parents with felony charges for seeking health care for their children. These kids are sitting at home having to listen to people who are supposed to protect them and their freedom saying these horrific, ugly, despicable things. So far this year, we have seen more than 450 anti-LGBTQ bills introduced at the state level. You've heard me say that before, amounting to a record number of anti-LGBTQ bills in our country's history. Guys, today is day 70. It is day 70 of 2023.
Tell me something we don't know. Yeah, tell me.
The same leaders that tout freedom apparently don't extend their love for freedom if they disagree with who you are, who you love, or how you parent. It's government overreach at its worst, taking away rights from the vulnerable, all to distract from a deeply unpopular agenda that caters to the ultra-rich. As the president has made clear time and time again, you have heard him say this not just as president, but also as vice president, also as a senator throughout his career. He believes that everyone in this country should live with the safety and dignity. With the safety and dignity.
Not a joke.
There is no asterisk over the word freedom in this country. We will not hesitate to call out this behavior. If I have to do this, or we have to do this, or the president has to do this every week, we will. And I'll just say what the president has said over and over again when it comes to LGBTQ plus community, when it comes to vulnerable communities across the country that are constantly being attacked. We have their back. The president has their back, and that will continue.
Oh, really?
So now the week ahead. This evening, the president will travel to Wilmington, Delaware. On Sunday, the president will return to the White House. On Monday, the president will travel to San Diego, California, to meet with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia and Prime Minister Sunak of the United Kingdom, and discuss the Australia-United Kingdom-United States Partnership, also known as AUKUS. The president will also participate in bilateral meetings with Prime Minister Sunak and also Prime Minister Albanese. On Tuesday, the president will travel to Monterey Park, California. The president will discuss his efforts to reduce gun violence. Then the president will travel to Las Vegas. On Wednesday, the president will discuss his plan to lower prescription drug costs. In the evening, the president will travel to the White House from Las Vegas. We will have more to share on St. Patrick's Day, one of the president's favorite holidays in the days ahead. As you all know, it'll be a lot to celebrate on March 17th. That, Sungmin, you want to kick us off?
Two quick questions.
Sure.
Will the president sign the legislation that would declassify information about the origins of COVID?
So look, I know that it was just passed, if I remember correctly, it was just passed out of the House today, right? So we're taking a look at the bill. We have continued to share information, as I've mentioned many times before, with members of Congress. And as you know, the first few months of the president's administration, he came into office. He directed the intelligence community to declassify information, assessing COVID origins, and to make that report public to the American people, because we know and he understands how important it is to get to the bottom of COVID origins. We will continue to use every tool to figure out what happened here, while also protecting classified information. Again, we're going to take a look at the bill. I just don't have anything to share on how we're going to move forward at this time.
Also passed it unanimously. So why would President Biden not something that
We're
literally
gonna-
got no opposition in Congress?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Fully understand. It is the right of the President of the United States to look at the legislation that is going to be coming before him, and we'll have more to share.
Clarification request on what he said earlier today. He was asked about Saudi Arabia and Iran reestablishing diplomatic relations, and he said the better the relations between Israel and their Arab neighbors, the better for everybody. Can you just clarify what he meant?
So look, as it relates to Iran and Saudi Arabia, we are aware of the reports and would certainly refer you to the Saudis, as they are clearly came together with this plan, and they will provide more details. But generally speaking, to your question, look, we welcome any efforts to help end the war in Yemen and de-escalate tensions in the Middle East region. That is one of the reasons why the president, you saw him travel over the summer to have those conversations. De-escalation and diplomacy together with deterrence are key pillars of the policy that President Biden outlined during his visit in July in the region. So again, de-escalation, tensions in the Middle East clearly is a priority, and he welcomes that.
Seriously.
Thank you, Karine. Still on the Saudi-Iran deal, you and other officials have often said that the JCPOA is just not a focus right now for the administration. Is this still the case in light of the Chinese broker deal that renews ties between Saudi and Iran? And should China be able to expand the Saudi-Iran deal to bring Iran to return to JCPOA? Would the administration support that?
So our opposition, as we have stated the last couple of months, as it relates to JCPOA, has not changed. It is not our focus right now. It is not on the agenda, and I'll just leave it there. We've been pretty consistent on that, and so that hasn't changed.
Okay, just to follow up on Somin's question, did the president just misheard the question? I'm still confused with your explanation.
I mean, there's no confusion. I just laid out how we feel about the de-escalating tensions in the Middle East. We've been very clear about that. The president laid out his plan during his trip, the pillars of the policy during his trip in July. It's just that hasn't changed, and that still stands.
Really?
Meanwhile.